this is what it's all about. Because I know if I take care of you, you're going to take care of me. And that's what I'm talking about.
Ottawa Hoops. It's Garry Gallimore. Went to Woodruff High School, graduated in 2003. Went to St. FX and graduated from there in 2007. From there, I went on to play pro for a couple years. Started out in Belgium, and I'm currently playing in Romania. Well, for me personally, being one of the biggest kids in my age group from in high school basketball, I was stuck in the post for most of my high school career, and then in my last year, Adrian Cadet and Andy Waterman, who were coaching me over at Woodruff alongside Jimmy Langus, they made it their duty to make sure I worked on my perimeter game, and they got me playing on the perimeter more. So after that, I started playing the position 2, which helped me in my transition when I went to St. FX, because at 6'2", I could no longer be an effective post player. So I started working on my guard skills, my shot, handling the ball a little bit, and creating my shots off the dribble and attacking the hoop from the perimeter as opposed to playing with my back to the basket. And obviously I had to keep working on that and getting more polished, because at the pro level, again, I had to be able to shoot the ball more and from a greater distance, seeing that I had to be in official position 2. I never became a point guard, but I had to play at the 2 position. So, I think the first thing, you just gotta be able to, you have to have a good work ethic. That's what's gonna help you through the challenges, especially, for the long practices, and also obviously sharpen up and tighten up your skills, because, the difference between Canada and the rest of the world is while we have university basketball and such, like a lot of young players that grow up playing in a professional system. So that's why in a lot of cases you have like the European players and the South American players who are at certain stages of their life more advanced than we are. So, I'd say work on your game, but the one thing that's going to carry you over is, can you be coached? Are you coachable? At certain points, you are the man, especially in high school. It's easy for you to be the man on a mediocre team, but when you get to the next stages of your career, like, coaches are going to only want to deal with players that they can coach. Can you follow instructions? Can you run a play when asked to run a play? Can you show up to places on time? Are you professional? Those are things that makes a difference. It's cool to be talented on the court, but there's other aspects of basketball that's going to help how successful you'll be at the other levels. Well, first of all, I'm going to say shout outs to all the other club teams in the city of Ottawa, creating outlets for young players to work on their skills and become better players. But as for me, Ottawa Phoenix is the program I grew up in, and I played for Adrian Cadet at Woodruff High School. So she encouraged me, invited me to come and try it for her team. And when I came, I was one of the youngest players. And just the respect I have for her, and then later meeting up with Andy Waterman, and just the efforts that they put in to me to help me develop my game and to show me that the places and levels I could reach just by with dribbling a basketball. That's why I represent for Ottawa Phoenix, because they helped open a lot of doors for me, and the ones they couldn't, they gave me the tools to kick it down, you know what I mean? So I'm currently here at the Phoenix Summer Camp, which is where you'll find me most summers. When I come home, I come here. It's always good to see the young players, always good to touch base with them and encourage them, to show them that, there's always opportunities to go as far as your heart desire, as long as you're willing to put the work in, and as long as you're committed to your purpose, which is a few things I learned from Adrian Cadet and Andy Waterman. It's just, you just got to be relentless in the work you do, and eventually, the work will obviously pay off, as it has for me. Well, again, first and foremost, I'm definitely going to shout out all the people that has been supporting and kind of, buying into what I'm trying to start. Trench Life is a movement I started when I was in Romania, my first season there. Just the challenges I was going through after taking a year off and then going back to playing overseas. It really, to me, was the epitome of the trenches, which is like I felt like I was at a starting point. I was no longer at the top. I was at the bottom. I had to work my way back up. And that's the whole point, is just being in the trenches, that you really have to really get dirty sometimes, get your hands dirty in order to make sure that the dreams that you have don't stay dormant. You know, your dreams become reality by the works you put into it, and that's what trench life is about. So, you know, I started just started a transition from just words and quotes, and I figured, trench life is something that a lot of people could use. So I put it in apparel form, so that, it's not just you're not just saying it no more. You're suiting up, and you're going in the trenches to put the work in. So that's what the movement is about. The long-term goals for that, obviously, is I want to continue to make apparel, which encourages people to work for what they want. I mean, everybody has a version of the trenches, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, basketball player. You really have to start somewhere before you get to the points which your heart desire for you to reach. So that's what it is. It's just really just motivation to know that you really have to work if you really want something. No one's gonna hand it to you, and that's what it'll work for what you want. I mean, I'm gonna shout out all the basketball players in the city of Ottawa on all levels, firstly, because I think Ottawa is a city that's often overlooked, and it's also often overshadowed by the bigger cities around Canada, which produce a lot more basketball players, and people pay more attention to that. But I think there's a lot of talent in Ottawa, especially at the high school level coming up. I think that in the future, and especially with the grassroots programs that we have, who are culturing players to be and reach the highest point possible of their game and their careers. That's basically it. Ottawa is my city. Ottawa Phoenix is my club. Trench Life, the movement. But at the same time, I'm going to shout outs to all the programs around the city. Obviously, also the two universities and the one college, Ottawa U, Carleton, Algonquin. Just for being a foundation and an outlet for basketball in the city.